Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every day on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash the subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are available through Anchor. And if you'd like to contact the show, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the Upper Tier. Joining me tonight, as always, our European expert. Who else would we have on for a Euros preview? Did we say Euros 2020 or did we say Euros 2021? I'm not too sure, but
In my job, we still have the sticker book and it has Euro 2020. And I'm like, hold on, we not been in that? And they're like, no, it hasn't happened yet. I'm like, oh, yeah.
just get the sticker with the one and put it over it. It'll be all
Yeah.
good. Yeah, let's have a look at this. We said we'd drop a quick preview on this because we're going to be bringing update shows throughout the tournament and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So we said we'd drop a preview. We're only days away at this stage. Friday, it all kicks off. It's going to be absolutely massive.
Very excited. Very excited for it.
Really exciting. Some really plum draws in there in the groups and stuff like that and all. And we're
Yeah.
really going to look forward to it. Where do we begin? I suppose let's go. We'll have a quick look group by group, will we?
Yeah,
See
go
what
group.
your
Yeah.
thoughts are group by group. So I
Yeah.
suppose Group A, you got Turkey, Italy, Wales, and Switzerland.
Yeah. I do think, look, I had a look earlier on at the betting. And from a group standpoint, I don't think it's going to be maybe as straightforward as people think for Italy, first and foremost. I do think that they have a very, very fine balance now, as in we have our experience, but we also have a very, very good young talent in there together. But I have a very strange feeling for Turkey really turning it on in the Euros. I don't know why. I know they have Soyuncu, I know they have Yilmaz at Lille, I know they have Kabak coming in, and they're very honest and they're very hard working. And I just think they're gonna, the opening game I believe is Italy, isn't it, and Turkey together in that group.
Yeah.
Like Turkey are 7-1. I think that's crazy. As good as Italy are, like Turkey could stifle them, and it could be a bit of a dodgy one. Switzerland on their day, could you make a case for them causing a bit of trouble? You could, I think, as well on their day. Wales, I don't. I think are gonna fall completely short of the group. I know they had that great run back in, was it the World Cup, was it, or the Euros before? I remember in the tournament.
It was the
They got to the
Euros.
semis.
It was the previous Euros, wasn't it?
I
Because the
just
World
don't
Cup.
think they have that managerial appointment, and I don't think they have the squad to really be able to battle with the other three. I do
Yeah,
think Italy will get through, but I think Turkey won't be too far behind, and I wouldn't be surprised if Turkey gets something out of that opening day game either.
it's a kind of nicely balanced, kind of competitive group, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, because
You feel confident. I think if you're either of the teams now. I don't know about Wales, I really don't know, but the other three lads must be thinking like, we'll have a go, like.
yeah, I suppose with Wales, it's been a little bit difficult for them as well because they've had that bit of disruption surrounding all the Ryan Giggs stuff and stuff like that. So,
Like Bale is
um,
getting back to club football recently, and
yeah,
it's a bit of hit and miss with everything.
yeah, it'd certainly be interesting. All right, I mean, it's difficult to pick two out of the four because Switzerland normally in the final stages of tournaments as well, they normally play decent football. You know what I mean? So,
I would say Italy, Turkey, but I'm very suspicious about Switzerland. I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised if Switzerland take either of them spots.
And the opening games in this thing, because they're
Yeah,
leading in from 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks of friendlies that
yeah.
are kind of meaningless, really. They don't show anything, they don't give anything away. Um, it's hard to really judge it, but you're always due in those first couple of fixtures, you're always due a decent upset. And
Wouldn't
like
be
you're right,
surprised.
Turkey could be that upset.
1-0 Turkey or something like that, just to set the scene, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised. Like.
Yeah. Group B, Denmark, Finland, Belgium, and Russia. I think we
I
know
think
who.
Belgium are going to steamroll a lot of them, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Like, you look at Belgium's team, and it's like playing fantasy football at times, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
it's like picking some of the best players from club football and
Mm.
throwing them in. They're at a good age. I think the problem that Belgium really have to get over now is let's live up to what they should be doing, the golden generation. You know what I mean? I think it's
Yeah.
about time that they live up to that now. Is Kevin De Bruyne all right to go with his eye socket? Is he
I,
okay to?
I'm sure he'll go. I haven't heard an
Yeah.
update on it yet, but I'm sure he'll go. Like, you know what I mean? But I just,
Lukaku, very good season went into Milan.
yeah,
Um, Tielemans, very good season with Leicester. You go through the back line, then Belgium. I think Vertonghen's at Benfica. A bit of age in the back line, but I think they've got so much firepower. They've so much talent all over
yeah,
the pitch. You'd expect them. no disrespect to the other team. Maybe Denmark, I think, could be a second out of there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But with Belgium, I think there should be a certain maturity to them now.
Yeah.
Because they've experienced a couple of these tournaments now. They have a lot of players there that are coming to the peak of their form in terms of club level. And it's kind of whether it all meshes and knits together.
If it blends at international level now, Yeah.
I suppose it's kind of dependent on which Eden Hazard shows up, doesn't it?
The problem there, isn't it? Like, it's a very tough one. Like, you look at his season with Real Madrid, if you even call it a season with Real Madrid, and then you're coming into the Euros, will this spark him? Will this get him, involved and hungry and happy to play again? You would think so with the quality he has around him.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I think it's like what we just said there. It's about time. You said it actually correct. It's about time now, as in living up to the bill. You've done it at club level. Let's get together and do it at international now. There's no hiding place now. It's the Euros. He had a good age as well.
Yeah, they certainly have a starting 11 that stands up to most.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? So, and they don't have too bad a second 11 either, in fairness. But yeah, I'm like you. I think Denmark might have a bit.
Denmark's a tricky side on that day as well. I give them their dues. Some good players in there, like Forsberg, Eriksson, Delaney. Paulson is very hit and miss as a striker, but gives good work rate.
Yeah.
I think they'd be definitely eyeing, right, if we get beat by Belgium, handy enough. I imagine maybe Russia, not the team they want to wear, I don't think.
No.
And Finland, I don't see them really giving anyone major trouble. Russia.
Yeah. We'll probably get this wrong now, and they'll be the Iceland.
Be Finland and Russia, and Belgium be touring or something.
Yeah. Group C, Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria,
Wait till you hear this.
And North Macedonia.
I don't think Holland are getting out of the group.
Wow.
I'm gonna throw it out there live on air. I'll tell you why. So Austria, I think, should not be overlooked for whatsoever. Very, very decent players, very good together, very honest. That kind of Turkey situation. Yeah. Ukraine could be, I wouldn't say like a banana skin, but you'd expect them. Who's the other one? Austria, Ukraine, Netherlands.
Austria, Ukraine, Netherlands, and North Macedonia.
Well, I don't give Macedonia a bleeding hope, but I think, right, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to actually say Holland are finishing third, and Ukraine and Austria are going to go through. I know I'm absolutely off being nuts, but I think Holland are being hyped up to something that, can they really back it up? As a forward line, Memphis Depay, Donny Malen plays in the Dutch league. No disrespect to the Dutch league. Gini Wijnaldum is only at the coming out of a season where he's had absolutely no rest. He's played every single game. He's going into a 2-week break now. Frankie de Jong hasn't had a great season. Matthias de Ligt, not a great season whatsoever.
But is this an opportunity for them to go back into the country?
I think it's an opportunity similar to the Hazard one, as in, like, Van de Beek. Will he even get into the team? I don't know. Like,
well, I was reading today. Is he not potentially out of the Euros? Did he get injured or something like that? I'm not too sure. I read something today, but I'm not too sure.
I can either see it being like what you said. I can see it being, right, here's an opportunity to showcase what we can do. But I do see a bit of vulnerability and a shock that they might finish third. Honest to God.
That's a massive call. I don't see that at all. I think the Netherlands will go through here.
And there's another team. Wait, you hear this?
Oh yeah. Macedonia though, coming in off the back, didn't they have a good win against Germany or something like that not so long ago? So who knows?
Like, Holland will probably piss all over everybody, and I'll be like, right, sorry.
Group D. I know this is one you're going to want to talk about. This is England, Croatia, Scotland, and the Czech Republic.
Look, I just think, right, I was deadly to do the video with you about who's on the bus and all, and who's going on the bus and stuff. It was great. But I think the biggest problem with England is themselves. They hype themselves up. They think they're world beaters before the job is even done. I know how good their players are. I know how good their squads are. But then they always make an excuse of why they went out or why things don't go their way. I think Gareth Southgate is going to be very conservative in each game. Extremely conservative. I think he's going to set up to not be beaten, but to score as well. The Croatian team, remember, they were really good back in their prime. A lot of these players have kind of aged, and they're not the team they were. Czech Republic, you would probably say, if they have Souček and they have Koufal from West Ham, you get an honest game out of Czech Republic. You get an honest appearance, I'd say, out of them. And then who's the other one?
Scotland.
Oh, Jesus. You don't need to tell Scotland, that you're playing England in Wembley. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just look at. I say my opinion, obviously how it is. England to get out, but I don't think they're going further than the next round. My opinion.
Who's getting out with them?
Croatia.
Good call.
I just think with Modric still, I know he's a bit older than that, but you have that experience of big games and big tournaments. You're level-headed, it's invaluable, I think, at times as well. Scotland, I think, will get a great buzz. Don't get me wrong, obviously playing England, but will they have enough resources squad-wise to play the other games and be successful? We don't know.
But see, pending the England-Croatia game,
yeah.
Scotland might be happy to get a draw.
A draw,
You know what I mean, in that game. Now,
How do you see it going? How do you see it going?
I have a sneaky feeling about Scotland being in this tournament, kind of like the way Wales were.
Yeah.
When they're on their day and they're fighting hard for each other. And Dean mentioned it to me the other night as well. He was saying that he thinks like that England-Croatia game on Sunday is so pivotal to the outcome of this group, even though it's only the first game in the group.
It sets the kind of the path nearly, doesn't it? As in the route,
Yeah, but what it does is it also aligns things depending on how the other fixture goes with Scotland and the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
It feeds into that second fixture, depending on how you want to play.
Do you know who England play if they get out of that group?
We'll come on to that now in a few minutes.
Yes.
We do have it, but we'll come
on yes.
We'll touch on Group E first. Spain, Sweden, Poland, and Slovakia.
Are you ready for shock number 2? I don't think Spain are getting out of that group either.
Oh, good Lord. Man, I hope you've got the Paddy Powers up Boyle Sports.
No, I'm going to. Well, look, this isn't nailed on. I just think as in surprises that could have happened.
Well, I don't think this is change it. This is your Villarreal moment. You can't be changing your mind now, So
I think Sweden are going to be a dark horse in the tournament. I think they have a very, very exciting young talent in there. Kulevski off Juventus, Alexander Isak off Real Sociedad, both have very good seasons. They're maturing, as you touched on earlier. They're coming together. Bit of experience already in there. Is Zlatan going to the Euros? Is he selected? I think he's back in the Sweden team.
Is he back in? He was left out. I don't know if he's in the final.
I don't think he's in the final one then. Yeah, he came back for them previous.
Yeah.
Slovakia will be a banana skin in its own right. Who was the other one? Spain and
Poland.
Poland is Lewandowski, Milik. The problem I have with Spain is when you look through that squad, it's not. You don't fear it as much as you used to, in my opinion.
The problem I think with Poland is you have a lot of really good players in there, but the problem is when Lewandowski isn't there, they kind of don't show
up. They're headless.
They don't show up. He's like kind of, like their Harry Kane at Spurs, if you like, that kind of thing. When he's
no offense to Spain, but Morata leading the line, I don't know. And Gerard Moreno is gone, so I'm very hopeful he gets game time, and I want to see him at an international level. Well, obviously from Villarreal.
It'd be hard to believe he wouldn't get game.
He has to, Ferran Torres. But I do sense vulnerability in Spain. Busquets is on a major, his age, and Laporte just came in for Spain, which is interesting. That's a bit of a sneaky deal.
Yeah, I think.
But here I'm gonna say Sweden, and I'm going to say, I'm gonna say Sweden, Poland, and Spain third. I'm doing a double of Holland at the bookies.
That's a huge call. You
have to throw them out there.
I can't see anything other than Spain and Poland.
I know.
I just can't.
Well, I just think, on paper, you just think it's so easy and predictable, but,
But when you think about it and you look at it, in order for that to happen, you're nearly looking at Slovakia being in the mix on the last round of fixtures. I can't see that happen.
We'll see how he plays. Yeah. I'll be completely wrong, or I'll be like, Jesus, wow.
Moving on to what we would call the group of death.
Group F. Yes.
Please don't tell me you're back in Hungary to get through here, especially.
I'll tell you, it's close enough to that. Wait till you hear this.
Hungary, Portugal, France, and Germany.
Germany aren't going through. My opinion.
Okay.
I think France could be the eventual winners. World-class World Cup winners in there. Immense ray of talent, immense. I
Mm.
think Paul Pogba saves his best football for the French team. Don't know how United fans will feel about that. That's my opinion from looking in, as in he gives his best consistently for the country. Very not hard when you have N'Golo Kante as well next to you,
Yeah,
like, you
he's
know what I mean?
surrounded by serious talent
Jesus.
as well. Yeah,
Griezmann, Mbappe, Benzema coming back in to the fold as well.
yeah,
Olivier Giroud to come in, world class. Up 2 goals the other night. You know, as a plan B in a tournament, to have someone like him to come into the mix when things aren't going their way, if they don't, is unreal.
unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely.
Varane, Kimpembe, Pavard, Hernandez. Oh, it's unbelievable stacks of talent. Portugal is my pick to win the tournament.
Is your pick?
Is my pick to win the tournament. I'm not
Right.
going to change my mind. They have been my pick since I knew this was kind of going down and how it played out. Ruben Diaz, player of the season for me in the Premier League,
Yeah.
outstanding. When you look through the Portugal lineup, it's not the case anymore of, in my opinion, if Ronaldo plays well, they win. It's not that case anymore.
No.
Obviously, he's out. He's a world class player, one of the best
Mm.
players to ever play the game. But
Yeah.
they're not at the level that they once were. Whereas with Ronaldo does well here, we've a chance. They've so much good talent in there. Diogo Jota, Renato Sanchez had a great season after having a bit of a shock with Swansea after Bayern Munich. It didn't really go that well.
Mm.
João Felix, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes had an absolute outstanding season. And the thing with Bruno as well is he gets very frustrated when teams aren't doing well. He's a winner and he's a serial winner. He wants to win.
Yeah.
João Cancelo, absolute are bundles of talent all over the pitch. Germany, the forward line is a concern, I think. As in, Timo just this season. Now, will it be a case as if he gets played and he actually turns up? We don't know.
Yeah.
That you can look at it that way.
Mm.
I can only see the goals really coming from the midfield. The Gnabry's, the Gundogans, the Havertz. The back line is a worry. I think Hummels is well and truly his age. You know, Rudiger's beside him. And Ginter played the other night, who's again, you wouldn't really be talking about Ginter, no offense, but Boateng, you know, is finished as well. Rudiger, I really like, but can he hold down a back three on international level on his own? I don't think so. What's your thinking? I'm not gonna no disrespect Hungary. I don't think they're in the mix whatsoever, so I'm not really gonna go into it with Hungary.
No, not at all. And look, not based on what we've seen. Certainly not
No.
based on what we've seen.
If we can hold them to an Eli draw, you know, fuck's sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your thinking on the
and
group of
not
death?
only hold them to a 0-0 draw, we made them look ordinary.
Fucking.
You know what I mean? So, but I mean, again, it depends how cagey this is. You're only talking about a few days out from the tournament starting. So, are they going to want to show all the aces in their hand? Probably not. You know?
Who's getting through for you?
Ooh. France, anyway. Definitely France.
Who's second?
Do you know what? I'm going to go with France and Germany.
Okay.
I'm going to go with France and Germany because I don't know, you know, Portugal have an unbelievable side, but Germany generally just find a way. You know what I mean? They have a lot of seasoned pros in there, as you said as well, but that doesn't necessarily make them look vulnerable or bad, and can often make them look good in terms of understanding.
We'll only find out when it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a Hummels in there who's a little bit aged and stuff like that. If you have a headbanger like Rudiger, who's all about the expression of himself, you know what I mean? It's good to have a bit of balance in there with a guy who's a bit more sat in and a bit more refined, as opposed to a guy who wants to just pelt forward and is an absolute baller, you know. But yeah, I'm thinking France and Germany.
And who will play the winners of?
I'm gonna go into that now. I haven't even got to that.
Please
stage.
check it.
I'll tell you now. The winners of.
Oh yes.
They play. Well, I presume they play, don't they? They play the winners of. Is it Poland and
the England group?
Oh, is it the England group? Is it?
So England will play either the winners or the runners up either way if they go through. Oh yes.
Well, that's a huge call, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not ideal by any stretch. Yeah, that's so it's interesting when you look at both sides of the draw.
Yeah,
Um, you could see a situation, as you said, Turkey could be a little bit of a dark horse on Italy as well. And then you look at Belgium. Belgium look like they could potentially have a real good run practically to the semi-finals, if not the final.
and then you look
Because
at England, who coming straight off the bat out of the group have like one of the top teams in the world, possibly.
yeah,
You know,
absolute, but it's an absolute dogfight on that side because you have England, you have Poland, you have Spain, if they make it through. But you
yeah,
also have potentially France, Portugal, or Germany, and
that's crazy.
they're all on that side of the
On
draw.
that half, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who's the threat to Belgium as in posing the stop on the way? A serious threat to them. By
Well, the only ones that you have then on that side is you have Italy. Um, for me, the only trouble for Belgium potentially is Italy and the Netherlands.
like Italy, you can never rule them out of a tournament. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
love tournaments. They take them very seriously, and they're very honest in them. You know,
I don't think there'll be a force in this one though. As you said, there is a lot of blended youth in there at the
possibly the
moment.
next with the
And
full, yeah,
I think you could say a better Italian side come the World Cup, not the
yeah.
Euros. That's what I'm
Maybe
thinking.
this is like a bit of like a training and a bit of a run out. You know, a bit of a pre kind of get the experience of the big
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all now if Belgium have a reasonable pathway to the final. You know, and
Yeah,
then. But that other, when you look at the balance, when you see it here, the balance of both sides of the draw, it's like very much favours Belgium. And on this side, it's
like
hard to
that
know.
side is like a
That
lot.
side is like, yeah, that side is you could pick one from five, six, maybe. Who knows? You know, there's lot of really good teams on that side. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it all kicks off on Friday, so it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, Turkey versus Italy.
Who is your complete outsider to have a good tournament that you think will shock people and say like this is like is it Scotland as you kind of touched on? Are you?
Scotland would be one as well because of the way it's kind of like, it's nearly like, you know, Scottish fans don't come at me now. We're really kind of like home toys, if you like,
It is. It
you
is in a
know,
way. Yeah.
for them, So I just think and I
Well,
think
for the players as well. Like,
yeah, and I think they'll have good representation there as well in terms of fans and stuff like that as
who's
well,
your kind of European dark horse? Your outsider. Like if you kind of look through the European clubs from around.
The outside of like Scotland and England and stuff
Yeah,
like
like
that.
out of home nation,
Um,
outside the home nation, your dark horse that you might think have a good kind of a surprise.
maybe Sweden,
Yeah. Oh,
maybe
I agree.
Sweden because they're kind of like they play a brand of football. Maybe Denmark as well, but
Yeah.
because they do have players in both teams that can produce certain moments. Whereas if you look at other clubs like or other countries like say Ukraine or Russia or something like that, where you'll have a kind of a workhorse mentality there as well. You don't have the flair that creates that moment that you need to push forward in this tournament. And that comes to the forefront a lot. But
Yeah.
clearly, obviously, with some of the picks you've made as well, I mean, it kind of turns it on its head as well because, I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, you were talking to, what was it? You were talking about Holland not coming out of the group, was it? Netherlands.
Yeah. I honestly just have a weird feeling about this tournament.
Hmm.
I think a lot of countries.
Yeah, you're just drifting out on your volume there, Craig. You're just
Is it alright now?
yeah, perfect now. It's just when you lean back a little bit, it's getting
Right.
lost. That's all.
I think a lot of countries will want to give their country something to be thankful for, some hope and
Yeah.
some genuine happiness.
Hmm.
And a lot of countries will be. I think it's a more open Euros than it's been in a while. You know.
Yeah, well, I suppose the fact that it was postponed for a year, and plus you're going into a sort of a major tournament on the back of so many players having no pre-season, no rest, a condensed season where there's a lot of games. Most teams are playing 2, if not 3 games a week, if you like. They've had
Yeah.
absolutely no rest. And they're going into this now. They've had, a little bit of prep time with their countries. They played a couple of friendlies. but it hasn't really showed us anything, because if you look at the results of the friendlies,
They're
I mean,
not playing anyone like serious, you
yeah,
know,
but
as
not
in
only that, you see, like Spain had a game against Portugal the other
nil
day,
all.
which is a very
Yeah,
strange. I was saying the other night, it's a very strange kind of fixture to put together a week before a
yeah.
major tournament. You know what I mean? Why would you be playing each other? Both of you are kind of in the mix, if you
It
like.
could
You
have
know?
been a bit of it could have been a bit of an injury concern as well, you know, but a lot of passion between them two, like
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at England as well, who are kind of like they've kind of flattered to
to see,
deceive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They played against Romania the other night. Didn't look great really at all. You know what I
No,
mean? I know, like, scored a penalty, missed a penalty, but I mean, other than that, what was in the game really? You know, I mean, this is against Romania. No disrespect for
Romania, like
Romania, but
no disrespect, but yeah.
if you're England, you're on the cusp of a tournament. You think you have a really, really good squad with a set of players there that can go a long way in that tournament. You rock up against Romania and you kind of struggle. And Romania had chances. You know what I mean? It's not
But
like
you
they
don't want
didn't
that
play.
5 days out. Like you want to be putting lads to the sword, going in full of confidence, like you know.
Yeah. And you don't want lads either arguing over who should be taking a penalty either.
Yeah, well, I didn't actually see the game, but I know Jordan eventually took it and he missed it and he apologized. Look, it
Yeah.
happens in the heat of the moment, I guess. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
happens in club football as well. We see it all the time, you know.
Yeah, anything can happen. But you're sticking with Portugal as the eventual winners.
For me, as an outright winner, I'm going Portugal. Outright winner.
I'm gonna go with Belgium,
Yeah,
because I think
I can see why. As in, like I can get it. Like
yeah, it's only when I look at the structure of the draw and how it's going to pan out into those other rounds and stuff like that. I just think there's a certain sort of element there where they can structurally go through. You
imagine
know,
like the treble for the three teams that I mentioned, shockingly not to qualify, is about 2,000 to 1. So obviously it's not happening. But it'd be mad if like one of them even. It's just my opinion. I just think that they're not as well feared or equipped as they once were.
well,
People might sense a bit of vulnerability.
yeah, well, what you need to do then, you need to go down to the bookies tomorrow, stick a fiver on that,
I
and
am.
if you win, me and you will head over to the final.
Yeah. And we'll split it down the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's I'm kind of, for the first time in a long time, I'm kind of excited about international football. Are you? It's
I
kind of like,
absolutely cannot stand the Nations League. It's another name for a friendly.
yeah,
And it's nice that we have a very serious competition internationally. You know, it's great to get a bit of international buzz back again, a
yeah,
real, genuine international buzz. I'm
yeah,
really looking
absolutely.
forward to it.
And
And I hope that it's decided on football and quality and results and no other,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to see some of these younger European players coming through, to see can they step up, and who's
Yeah,
going to be, you know, like we know the Pogbas, we know the Kylian Mbappes, we know the Lewandowskis, we know all these players, you know what I
it's
mean?
more
The
the
Harry
likes for
Kanes.
me, like Alexander Isaac, and I mentioned Kuleveski at Sweden. You know, I want to see them. Gerard Moreno. I want to see how they take the pressure of international football and how they settle
Yeah,
inside it in a big tournament, and how are they ready.
yeah,
You know, a lot of moves might come out of this, which
yeah,
again is why I touch on. You know, Lukaku into Milan. I'm happy enough.
yeah.
He finishes top scorer. Don't tell me there's no one going to be looking at that and saying, "Fucking hell!" On top of a Serie A season,
Who's going to be that next Kylian Mbappe that some
the
team can
next
pick up,
Kylian Mbappe,
that can pick
right?
up for 20 million? Say, you know that, you know, there's always one
I
player
think
in
it
there
is. I
and
think they
lights
are
up a
at Sweden.
tournament.
I think they're
Yeah,
both at Sweden, to be honest with you.
yeah, but it's going to be it's going to be really, really interesting. But I always get excited when I see the younger players trying to cope with the pressure of it, and then
Yeah,
you see them, and then out of this, you know, you get the next Kylian Mbappe, the next Neymar, the next, you know, the next whatever, you know, and it's just, it'd be exciting. And also with England there as well, it's interesting to look at England. They have a lot of youth on their side as well. It's
yeah.
interesting to see how they're going to fare out as well, because
Will England implode within, or will they come together, band together, and fight for each other? You know, with England, you literally do not know what you're going to get, and that's being honest. Like, you don't know. They have the quality, they have
yeah,
the team, but it comes down to managing, and it comes down to, like, I think, team effort together and perseverance and penalty shootouts maybe for ones that they actually have to get through.
they'll probably never get a better opportunity when you think about
No,
it,
I do.
because
No, that's a good point.
some of the players they have in there are reaching their peak now. The likes of Harry Kane and stuff like that. Obviously, our own Jordan Henderson, Harry Maguire is in there as well. Um,
which I think,
but they're on home soil as well. You know what I mean?
which I can't believe I'm even like I'm saying this, but I'll say it truthfully. I think Maguire could be missed in a weird way. I think he was missed even for United towards the end. That bit of leadership, that bit of kind of strong, resilient force back there.
Isn't it kind of weird when he goes out and you kind of miss all those things that people don't really associate with him?
I wouldn't have,
because when you think of Harry Maguire, you don't think of him as being a leader and this and this and this, and then it's only when he's gone and the team is missing all these things you go, well, obviously he does bring this, but because people are so down on him about the other stuff, they miss all this other stuff that he brings.
He is a rock within, which is a bit strange when you'd say when he's injured, they're not going to really feel that, but it's a massive hole, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen, absolute pleasure coming on to preview the Euros. This is going to be a very interesting tournament.
Get to the bookies.
Me and you are going to be talking on a regular basis over the next month about some of these decisions of players and stuff like that, and reviewing.
And matches. if the three lads go out who I predicted, then I'm gonna have to close down my betting account because they're gonna do me for bleeding information on the inside.
Well, listen, if anyone's going to get it right on the podcast, you're going to get it right because you're the one that scours European football. So if you don't know, the rest of us ain't going to know, are we? So, yeah, but I'm looking forward to you. You've put out some interesting picks there without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not sure our viewers would agree with you, but if you don't or you do, we want to hear it right down.
No, I'd be happy to take. I'm completely happy to take the good app. I'd like to hear everyone's opinion, you know, and I'd like to hear what people think who was their dark horse or who's their player to look out for, and who they think is going to be the team to beat. Is it one of the top teams, or do they see a dark horse themselves that we haven't maybe seen, you know, or is there something that we're missing that they think, you know?
Yeah.
And how far do England, if they're English as well, how far do they think they're going to go? And you know,
well, they think they're going to win it.
They are going to win it, of course.
But yeah, well, as always, if you agree with Craig, let us know, or if you disagree, let us know. It's certainly going to be interesting based on what you've told us tonight. As always, we are the upper tier. This is your Euros. We'll say 2020 for lack of argument.
Oh yeah, sure.
Preview on the Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube. Head over there. As always, subscribe, like, share, all that other good stuff supporting the network as we go through a summer of international football and look forward towards the season. Absolutely pleasure, Craig, having you on.
Cheers, Noel.
We will be on a lot this month discussing stuff. Cheers, bud.
Cheers, thanks.